Alright, so yo, what's good? Back on the 3X True channel, and today we got a little talk about the new way to kill bosses, and I believe it's a little bit faster than the old version. Now, unfortunately, the last version using Xeno Dokei and all that is outdated now. Surprisingly, in a week, I believe Xeno Dokei did get nerfs. It's not as powerful as it once was. But then I'm back, and I have another actually pretty good build that it took me a little while, but I tested out myself to watch a couple of YouTube videos, and I found a pretty good build for when you want to kill bosses. Now, I'm not talking about like Goku or none of them. Like, I'm kind of talking about like Ryan, Kuma, or whatever. So the first thing that we're gonna be using is going to be Sarutobi. Now, this is like super underrated in my opinion. It does like a crazy amount of damage, and it honestly is super overlooked by the Shindo Life community. This was like a really OP bloodline back in like Shinobi Life 2 days, and it's surprising that it's still really OP when it comes to fighting bosses, because it worked really well on Jins and it works really well on these type of bosses too. So it's kind of sad that a bloodline that's good is overlooked like that. But for that bloodline, we will be using its final move. This just does like a crazy amount of damage in my opinion. And also, if you mode up, that only increases the damage that it does. It lasts for a while, it does a really great amount of damage. The second thing that we'll be using is Inferno Karashi. Now, I know, this time I tried to make a bloodline, it's not nearly as rare, but this is going to be the one rare bloodline, but it's not required. It is replaceable. The move I will be using on this one is the final move, Karashi style, Motor Implode. With this move, you get on your bike, and then you go ahead and just, go to town with this chain, bro. And it lasts a long time, and you jump off the bike when you're done, so you don't just stand there and casually get hit by the boss. Then the final bloodline is Iron Sand or Apollo Sand. Now this is kind of like the superstar of this build. This bloodline is absolutely crazy if you can use it correctly. We'll be using the final move of it, which is this move. It's a really good move. If you use it correctly, I heard it can do up to 300 to 500k damage. If you use it correctly, Iron Style, Iron Fist. And then the next move I'll be using is Iron Style Sand Tsunami, which this move is a pretty large just AoE stun. Of course, you can't stun a boss with this, but it also does great damage if you're just, if you just use it, it just adds as an extra amount of damage. Now, the next move I'll be using is Ember Hurricane. Ember Hurricane is a really great Taijutsu move. It's in the meta right now. Everybody talks about it. That move, if you can get up close and you can get it off, it does a really great amount of damage. I'd suggest using it. Then I will be using, I forgot what that's called, but it's pretty cool, Spirit Smash. This move, it's pretty good, replaceable but really good. You just launch yourself up into the air and then drop back down, doing a lot of damage. Then the next move I'll be using is Inferno Style or Satori Brush, something like that. But you get it from the Satori Akuma boss. I know a lot of you might not actually have that move, so a move that I would suggest replacing that with would be, I can never find these moves, man. A Super Odama Spirit Bomb. Now, I know a lot of you were probably thinking the normal Rasen Shuriken. You can use that. That is a possibility. You can use that if you'd like. But this move, as you saw in the last build, it did a ton of damage. It really did a lot of damage to the boss. So I suggest using that if you don't have the Satori Bomb Rush. I also have the, we already went over this move, but the Sarutobi move equipped on my F key, because it can be equipped to your normal RTY FGH spot. Then I have Cinco Spirit Bomb equipped. This move is just all around just great. Then the next thing, I always got to keep my companion on me. My boy Zim Cinco. He's been faithful for a long time now, and he does great damage to bosses. That's it. If he's not the most OP boss, he's not the most OP companion, definitely, but I would suggest using a companion. And as I went over in the last video, they do a lot of great things that we just don't realize. Not only do they fight for you if they're on a good level, but they distract the boss. So moves that have a really massive startup time with a lot of hand seals, you can easily get those off. Alright, and today's boss is going to be Dio Cinco. Now, I will be creating a video on Dio Cinco's mode that this boss drops, because there's some really OP stuff with it that myself and Acid have done and ranked that goes absolutely crazy, and that's going to be coming soon. Yeah, we're going to make a Zim Cinco fight his own brother, or a family member. We don't know who that is to him, but yeah, so the mode I'm going to be using is Fate Spirit 3. Fate Spirit 3 is a really overlooked mode in my opinion. It does really well. Now, your mode, I'm not going to say that it's required. This is just the one I'd suggest using, but you can use 10 tails or whatever like that. Mode is not mandatory. The mode is really just being used here just as a support. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, go ahead and see, look at that damage. Like, that's crazy in it. This is not like sped up in any way. Like, this is pure time of how just like, okay, I use that move wrong, but like this combo really does go crazy for bosses, and that has 0 hand signs, by the way, so you can insta cast it. See, if he starts moving in that, if you do that correctly, okay, time stop. Alright, but if you use that correctly, it does so much damage. It doesn't really even make sense. It does like up to, I believe, 400k to 500k, at least that's what I've heard. I haven't really tested it like that yet, but I know just even if it doesn't, even if you don't use it correctly, it still does like a massive amount of damage. And once again, this is sped up in no way. Like, we're already almost done. I believe this might be a little bit faster than the last build, to be honest. This build is very quick when it comes to defeating these bosses. Alright, he's almost dead. Yeah, there we go. That is a boss dead to the mighty combo that I have created. That's the build for today. Honestly, let me know what y'all think, but I think this one is honestly, in my opinion, a little bit better than the other build that I showcased in the other video. And I hope you guys can get boss scrolls much quicker with this, and we'll have multiple more Shindo things coming out later, trying to help you guys do stuff, help you guys with combos, 1v1s, just basically beating people up inside this game. So that's about it for now. Yeah, hope you guys can get scrolls with this, because we all know that takes a while. And peace out.